What's up, guys? It's Flackfire. As we wait for news on Fallout 4's first pack of upcoming downloadable content, we can't keep our imaginations from running wild. There are many rumors in the Fallout 4 community about where we'll go in the first expansion pack for the game. Some of them are more likely than others. One of the more unlikely scenarios is a trip to the moon, but it's a fan favorite. I was asked to do a video on this, so how would such a DLC fit into the Fallout universe? Let's find out. Well, in a way, it already fits. In Fallout 3's DLC, Mothership Zeta, the character is abducted by aliens and taken to space, where a lot of weird stuff happens. Eventually, the character fights for control of the ship and succeeds, teleporting back to Earth. Some don't consider the expansion canon, meaning it never officially happened, but it does provide a precedent for space travel. Mothership Zeta isn't the only reference to space travel we have, either. In Fallout 3, you'll find a lot of references in the Museum of Technology at the mall, including a replica of a Virgo 2 lunar lander and a Delta rocket. According to exhibits in the museum, Moon Mission Valiant 11 made contact with the lunar surface on July 16, 1969. On November 14, 1969, the Virgo 3 lander Valiant 12 also landed on the moon. The bombs didn't fall until 2077, over 100 years later, so that's a lot of time to put a base on the moon, and the supposed last time people were there was in 2052. Well, you might say, a moon base, that's impossible, which is honestly a totally logical reaction until you dig deeper into the history of the United States Space Administration, which is Fallout's version of NASA. In Fallout 4, while completing a quest for the Brotherhood of Steel, you enter ArcJet Systems. The company was contracted by the USSA before the Great War to produce the XMB booster engine for the Mars Shot project. Weight issues with the rocket delayed the project, and it's unlikely a launch ever took place because the mission was scheduled a year after the bombs fell. There's also the unique problem of Fallout Van Buren, which is Black Isle's canceled version of Fallout 3. While it's non-canon, it doesn't mean Bethesda can't or won't pull from the material in Fallout 4. Some material from the canceled game made it into Fallout New Vegas, such as Caesar's Legion. In Van Buren, the USSA seems to have a better handle on space travel, putting Ballistic Orbital Missile Base No. 1, abbreviated BOMB No. 1, into space. BOMB No. 1 is a large donut-shaped long-term space station capable of firing 24 nuclear-tipped ballistic missiles. These examples are solid evidence the Commonwealth government had the technology and means to put people into space, potentially on the moon or even on Mars. But has anyone made it to space since the Great War without being abducted? In Fallout New Vegas and the quest Come Fly With Me, you help a ghoul named Jason Bright and his band of followers on a journey to a sacred place named the Far Beyond. They take this journey on rockets from the RepCon test site. Unfortunately, we don't know where they go if they are successful. It's likely somewhere in space. But the key takeaway here is that they can be successful. So if there was DLC on the moon, how would you get there? There may be locations in Fallout 4 that would be suitable for the role, like the Sentinel missile site in the Glowing Sea, or perhaps the crashed alien spaceship can be brought back to a working condition, since it seems largely intact. Of course, there could be other yet-to-be-disclosed methods, but if we succeed in getting to the moon, or Mars, what would there be to do there? The moon has fascinated people long before the invention of spaceflight. In fact, people predicted moon colonies as early as the 1600s, but the idea wasn't just some sci-fi fantasy. It had an actual serious chance of happening.
And for some time, our astronomers have been noticing an unusual amount of atomic activity on the moon. Atomic activity on the moon. Atomic blasts on the Earth. The two known facts fit together. Yes, that's up.
Project Horizon was a study completed to determine the feasibility of constructing a scientific military base on the moon. This was done by the United States, and the report was issued on June 8, 1959. According to Wernher von Braun, also known as the father of rockets, The lunar outpost is required to develop and protect potential United States interests on the moon, to develop techniques in moon-based surveillance of the Earth and space, in communication relay, and in operations on the surface of the moon to serve as a base of exploration for the moon, for further exploration into space, and for military operations on the moon if required, and to support scientific investigations on the moon. If that doesn't sound ambitious enough, the project had an even more ambitious timeline starting in 1964, when they would launch 40 Saturn rocket launches. The report even proposed defense measures against possible Soviet overland attacks on the moon. These included unguided Davy Crockett rockets with low-yield nuclear warheads and conventional Claymore mines modified to puncture pressure suits. Ouch! Sadly, Horizon never progressed past the feasibility stage in any official capacity. There were also other proposed projects like the Lunex project, which also never came to fruition. But this is the Fallout universe. Things happen here that don't happen in reality. If there were Commonwealth moon colonies, there would also likely be Chinese colonies. It goes hand in hand with the weapon proliferation associated with the buildup to the Great War. If such colonies existed, they would now have been cut off from the Earth for nearly 200 years. Would they still be at war with one another, like Japanese holdouts from World War II refusing to believe it's all over? Would they be completely destroyed, or maybe have they resolved their differences? I'd like to find out. The moon also presents interesting challenges from a settlement standpoint. You'd have to balance food, water, and air to keep your settlers alive. There are also a few subtle hints in Fallout 4 for space travel and the moon. In Concord's Museum of Freedom, which is another possible source for DLC inspiration, the large wall mural shows the moon and astronauts on its surface. We also know a significant historical event occurred at the Sea of Tranquility on the moon, but no details survive of this event. There are also a couple posters scattered about in Fallout 4. One of them depicts Mr. Pebbles, the first cat in space, and the other one is a movie poster from Communists from Space. So, will we discover the details of what happened at the Sea of Tranquility? Will we fight communists from the stars? And most importantly, will we find Mr. Pebbles? I suppose we'll find out if and when Bethesda makes an official announcement on downloadable content for Fallout 4 in the coming weeks. What do you think about traveling to the moon? What's your DLC theory? Tell us in the comments. I'd like to know. In the meantime, share, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.